Good morning, everyone. My name is Amrit Raj, and welcome back to our Complete ABAP on HANA course. This will be our second lecture of the second chapter, which is ABAP programming on classical reports. So, we were discussing what is a data type, and I told you a data type is a template using which we can create data objects. And then we also discussed what is a data object. So, data object is like an instance of the data type. Instance simply means objects. For example, in object oriented programming, we will see that what we do, they will create a template which is nothing but a class, and using that particular class, we will be creating various different kind of objects. So in simple our ABAP programming, you can see data objects are nothing but it is an instance of a data type which is actually going to store the contents or data. Data type is not going to store the contents, but data object is going to store the content or data. We also have two kinds of data objects here. The first one is literals, which is also known as unnamed data object, and the second one is named data object. Unnamed data object simply means that suppose we are displaying a particular statement on our output screen without using the variables or anything to store it, then that particular object will be known as unnamed data object. We will see it practically. And if we are going to use variable or a certain storage certain container to store the data, then that particular object will be known as named data object. So what are unnamed data object? So literal don't have any name, that is why they are called as unnamed data object, because we are not going to give a name to literals, that is why they are known as unnamed data object, and they are fully defined by their value. Literals are fully defined by their value. Then the question arises, how many types of literals are there? So basically we have got two kinds of literals. The first one is numeric literals and the second one is character literals. Numeric literals are sequence of numbers, for example 1, 2, 3, and it can also store minus or plus sign, whatever sign you want. So numeric literals are literals which are nothing but a sequence of numbers, and they can contain both plus and minus sign. So suppose if you want to store numeric data, then you can use the numeric literals, but if you want to use the character data, then you can use the character literals. And what are character literals? Character literals are sequences of alphanumeric characters. Now what are these alphanumeric characters? Alphanumeric characters means you can use the alphabetical keywords as well as the numeric keywords. That's why they are known as alphanumeric characters in single quotation mark. Now this is a important statement. In case of character literal, if you are going to display a certain output, then the whole statement is going to be written under the single quotes. You can see here, suppose if I want to display this SAP ABAP development, and what I have done here, I have written this under a single quotes. So character literals are wait a minute. Character literals are sequences of alphanumeric characters in single quotation marks, and these are some of the examples. Like you can store the character as alphabets as well and numeric as well, and all of them should be under single quotes only. So these are the literals or unnamed data object. In case of literals, we have got numeric literals and the character literals. In case of numeric literals are sequence of number. For example, this 1, 2, 3, and before that we have used this minus sign. Then we have this 4, 5, 6, 7. Again we have used this minus sign. So they can contain both plus and minus sign. Then we have the character literals, which are the sequences of alphanumeric characters in single quotation marks. Then the second kind of data object we have is named data object. Data object that have a name is known as named data object. Simple definition of named data object is, if a data object have a certain name, then that particular data object is known as named data object. And the various type of named data object are variables, constants, and text symbol. So we have got three kinds of named data object in our ABAP programming. The first one will be a variable. I don't need to explain what is a variable to you, guys all are expert in it. So variables, then we have the constants. These are the named data object whose value will be fixed, and then we have this text symbols which you have not seen in any programming, but it is a particular concept which is only applied in case of ABAP. I will explain it later on. First we need to understand what is variable. So variable is nothing but a named data object whose contents can be changed. The name itself is suggesting here that the value of this named data object is not fixed. It can be changed according to the requirements. So variable is a named data object whose contents can be changed, and variables are declared using the data class data, statics, parameters, select option, ranges. These are the various kind of keywords that we are going to use while declaring the variables. So it will be, we will explain this thing later on. Currently, just for knowledge purpose, we need to know what are the various keywords we are going to use to declare a variable. Now suppose using this data keyword, I have declared a employee ID. So employee ID, what I've done here, I've declared a employee ID of length 4 and type numeric. So this one is numeric, this is not a natural number. So this one is a numeric, and it is basically stored in case of SAP in a character format. That is why we can use this as a character, as to store the character as well. So next what I have done here, I have given this value as 10 and 20. So you can clearly see what I have done here. I have declared a variable. Then first I have assigned its value as 10. So assigning value as 10 declares that a 10 value has been stored in this particular name data object. But later on I have changed its value to 20. It clearly signifies us that the value of this name data object is not fixed and we can change it as per our requirement. That is why they are known as variables. Then the second kind of named data object we have is constants. So constants are data object whose contents cannot be changed. So a data object whose contents cannot be changed are constants, and constants are declared using the constants keyword. This is the keyword which you are going to use for declaring a constant, and declare for declaration purpose. See what I have done here. I have written constant followed by a colon sign. This is a really important sign in our SAP ABAP, which is also known as chain operator. I will explain it later on. First you need to understand how we are going to declare a constant named data object. Then I have given the name of this named data object as local underscore pi. Then I have used this type keyword followed by p, and I have given the length of decimal as 3. Then I have used this value keyword to assign the fixed value of my constant. So once my fixed value has been assigned, then later on I cannot change it. Just see. Suppose I am copying this particular statement and I am going to my ABAP editor screen. Just focus on it. See, I will activate this program. Okay. It will be in single quotes. That is why we are getting this error. Now check. What the last statement is not complete, period missing. Okay, I have already explained you that any ABAP statement requires period at the end of the statement. Now activate it. So if you will try to display the content, you don't need to understand right now why I am using this particular write statement to display it. First see what is happening here. I am simply displaying this LCL underscore pi. I'll click on activate button and I will click on execute button. See, 3 I am getting the record. Now suppose I want to change the value of this local pi. So I am giving it as E3.14. Always use single quotes. Now click on this syntax check button and you can see the field local pi cannot be modified. SAP itself is giving me a compile time error, and this error is that this field local pi cannot be modified. So once you have defined a constant named data object, you cannot modify it. Now activate it. Just wait for a second. Then the third thing that we have is text symbol. Text symbols are really important for our ABAP programming, so kindly focus it. A text symbol is a data object that is not declared in the program itself, but it is defined as a part of text element of the program. So it is a named data object. You can see here it is a named data object, and that is it is not declared in the program. So you are not going to declare this particular text symbol here inside the program, but you are going to be define it as a part of the text element of the program. So for that purpose, what you will do, you will click on this go to and you will go for this text element, and here you can see we have got this text symbol where we are going to write our text element. So suppose I am giving it here 001 and I am giving first hi Amrit. I am writing hi Amrit, how are you? And I am using single quotes. I will click on this save button and I will activate it. Now if I want to display this particular text symbol, so what I will do, I will simply use the write statement. Write statement is mainly used to display the content. Write, and I am going to display it using text hyphen the number. What the number I have given for this particular text element, I have given 001. So I will give 001, check syntax error and activate it. I will click on execute button and you can see hi Amrit, how are you is being displayed here. Just comment this. Now execute it. So it is working perfectly. So this is the significance of text symbol. You can define a global named data object for your program, for this particular program only, and you can use this particular text symbol in any part of this particular program. So text symbol is nothing but a named data object that is not declared in the program itself, but it is declared as a part of text element of the program. So I hope this concept is clear to you all. Then the next topic we have is parts of a program. In case of any programming language, in case of any program, you are only going to see these three things. The first one will be the input, then will be the processing logic, and the last will be the output. So user is going to give a certain input from the input screen, and then on your applications layer, what you will be doing, you will be doing the processing logic, and at last on the output screen, what you are going to do, you are going to display the output to the user. So user used this particular input is mainly used to take input from the user, and in case of our ABAP programming, these are the two keywords which are mainly used to take input from the user, and I will explain this later on. First I just wanted you to know it. So parameters and select options are used to take input from the user. Then the processing logic, in case of processing logic, you will be doing the operational part, the logic part. You are going to build it, you are going to write it so that the output can be displayed. So once the processing part is done, you are going to store the output in a output variable, and then using a certain statement. For example, in our ABAP programming, we are going to use write statement to display the output. So here you can see what I have done. I have written write, and then I have given the variable, this particular constant I have given here. So this constant, this is nothing but a local name data object. So I have used this name data object to store certain content, and then I have used this write statement to display my output. So used to show the final result to the end user, and in case of classical report, write statement is used to display the output. What is a report? So a report is nothing but a executable program in our SAP ABAP. Then the next topic for this lecture is going to be writing sum of two numbers program. So we have to write sum of two numbers program. So first two things that we will be required is the first two things will be the two input that we are going to take from the user. So for that purpose, what we will do, we will be creating two variables. So just remove this thing now. I am going to give a first comment. The comment is taking input from the declaring variable to take input from the user. So here what I am going to do, I will be declaring two variable in which I will take input from the user. Then I will create a variable for the output one. After that, what we will do, we will perform the processing part. Then we will use the write statement to display the data. So using data keyword, we are going to define our variable. I have already told you. You can see here. Where is it? Yes. Variables are declared using data, class, data, statics. So these are the various things. We will explain it later on. But for now, just you need to understand that if you are going to define a local variable, then what you will be doing, you will be using this data keyword. So data keyword, and I am going to give input name as local variable input1. Input1. I will give its length as 2, type numeric. Then I will define one more variable, data lv underscore input 2, its length will be 2, type numeric. Now I will click on this activate button to check to activate my program. So this declaration part is done for input 1. Then we also need to declare a output variable. So declaring output variable. So what I am going to do, I will take input data lv underscore input, this time I am going to give the name of the variable as lv output, type numeric. Let's define a length 3 for it, because if the size of the numbers is going to be 2, then there is a probability that their sum can be 3. For example, 50 plus 50 is going to be 100. So 100 will be a 3-digit long. So I am giving, for safe purpose, I am giving the length of this particular output as 3. Definition part is done. Now for the parts of programming concept, I have told you that the first thing that we are required to do is give input. So we are required to give input to these particular input variables. First I am going to give a default input. So I will write a comment first, input. Then I will give lv underscore input 1 is equal to, suppose I am giving the value as 10. Then lv underscore input 2 is equal to 20. See what I have done here, I have given input 1 as 10 and then input 2 as 20. Then we will do the processing part. Again I will give a comment, processing part. So for the processing part, I will use lv output variable to store the data final result, and I will write the logic here, lv input 1 plus lv underscore input 2, and at last I will do the displaying part. So displaying result. So I will use write statement, write, and the sum of given numbers. I want to display this text as well. So the sum of given numbers. Again write statement to display the lv underscore output. Now just click on this activate button to check the error as well. Our program has been activated, so there is no error. Now click on this execute button and see what is happening here. The sum of given numbers is equal to 30. Here I will give a equal to sign as well. Now see what I have done here. I have written this text, and if you can remember here, I have just explained a unnamed data object. See, unnamed data object, and in case of unnamed data object we have got this character literals. So character literals are sequence of alphanumeric characters in single quotation mark, and here you can see in case of our write statement what I have done here. I am displaying a unnamed data object, then I am displaying a named data object, which is my local variable output. So this is how we are going to write our first program. First we will take input from the user, then we will do the processing part, that is we are going to do the logic part, and at last we are going to display the output to the end user. Then the significance of this write statement. The basic ABAP statement for displaying data on the screen is write statement. Write statement is a really important statement in our ABAP programming. It is the basic ABAP statement for displaying data on the screen, and we can use this slash in write statement to denote a new line. Now you can see here I have written this write statement two times. The first one is the sum of given numbers and the second one is LV output. Meanwhile, when I am clicking on this execute button, what I am seeing, these both lines are coming, these both data is being displayed on the same line. So I can use this slash operator to denote a new line. So suppose here in case of my second program I am giving a new line. Now I will click on this activate button and I will click on execute. See, the second data has automatically gone to the second line. So the significance of this slash keyword is to denote a new line. So if you are using this particular slash keyword via the write statement, that particular record will be displayed automatically on the next line. Then an important topic is coming, which is chain operator. Guys, just focus on it. This chain operator, also known as colon, we already, in case of our technical term in our SAP we call it as chain operator, but normally we will be calling it as a colon. So this particular chain operator is used to combine the statement. Here you can see I am using this data multiple times. So if my user is going to say that you are defining variables here, but you are using this data keyword multiple times, what is the need of it? I just don't want to use this data keyword multiple times. So what I can do, I can simply use this colon sign or chain operator here, and at last after numeric I will use this comma sign, and I can simply remove this data, the second data part. Now you can see, and when all the variable defining will be done, I will be ending this from the period sign or full stop sign. Now click on this activate button and you can see there is no error. The same thing I can do here in case of our write statement. I will use this colon sign, and this time I am going to remove this write statement as well, and here I will remove this period via comma sign. At last we will have the period. So this will be acting here as a single statement in case of our ABAP programming, and at last I have given this period or full stop sign, check for the syntax and activate the program. Now click on execute. You can see that your program is perfectly working. So this is the significance of our chain operator. So before using chain operator, if you want to display this variable, these three variables, you will be using here write var1, var2, var3. But after using the chain operator, you can simply use the comma to display them. Then one more topic is left for this lecture, which is how to change the title of the program. How can you change the title of the program? You can see here when we are executing our program, this title is being appeared twice, sum of two numbers, sum of two numbers. So how you can change it? And if you remember it, when we started creating this particular program, what I did, I have given a title there. So for changing that, if you want to change it, you will click on this go to and you will go for this attributes button. Just click on here, go to attributes, and here you can see this pop-up is again appearing where we have given the title. Now I can change this. If I want first ABAP program, I am giving it, and I will press enter. Again I will activate my program. Whenever you are going to change your program, it will automatically go to inactive mode, so you are required to activate it again and execute it. This time you can see the first ABAP program title is being appeared. So this is how we can change the title of the program. So this is all about my second lecture of my second chapter. Keep watching the videos and don't follow to like, subscribe and share the video. Okay, so we will meet again. Till then, bye bye.